Good evening. Speak in such a way that others love to listen to you. Listen in such a way that others love to speak to you. Welcome to BMC English News Live. Myself, Marina Francis, joining you with the news updates. Today's news in detail. Cultural activities marking the Golden Jubilee of Bahrain-Indian relations launched. From Bab al Bahrain, where the entrance to the ancient city of Manama with all its cultural and historical heritage, cultural activities to commemorate the Golden Jubilee of diplomatic ties between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the Republic of India were launched yesterday evening. In attendance were Bahrain Authority of Culture and Antiquities President Sheikha Mai bint Mohammed Al Khalifa, Foreign Affairs Consular and Administrative Affairs Under Secretary Tawfiq Al Mansoor and Indian Ambassador Piyush Srivastava, in addition to prominent diplomatic presence as well as active personalities in both the Bahraini and Indian communities and those interested in cultural affairs. Culture has always brought us together to celebrate our common heritage and history, and today we celebrate 50 years of diplomatic relations between India and Bahrain, said Her Excellency Sheikha Mai bint Mohammed Al Khalifa on the occasion. Bab al Bahrain was lit up in shades of the Indian tricolour yesterday as Bahrain and India commemorated 50 years of diplomatic relations, while the iconic Qutb Minar, a UNESCO heritage site in New Delhi, was simultaneously lit up in red and white, representing the Bahraini flag. The lighting ceremony at the main entrance to the Manama Souk, which dates back to 1949, was followed by a march from the monument to the heritage shop led by the Bahrain Police Band and a performance by the Mohammed bin Faris Band at the Little India Square. Autumn Fair set to return. The kingdom's largest annual consumer exhibition will be held at the Bahrain International Exhibition and Convention Center, Sanabis, in December. The 32nd Autumn Fair, which attracts thousands of visitors every year, will be opening its doors to shoppers from December 13th to 21st, coinciding with Bahrain's National Day celebrations. Bahrain's COVID updates. Out of 13,622 COVID-19 tests carried out yesterday in Bahrain, 69 new cases have been detected. Of these, 16 were expatriate workers, 48 were contacts of active cases and 5 travel related. There were 39 recoveries reported. There are currently 3 cases in a critical condition and 6 cases receiving treatment. 623 are stable out of a total of 626 active cases. Now we will be back after a very short break.
All your favorite products under one roof in Bahrain at 27-year-old Megamart and Macromart. Bakery, fresh meat and fish, fruits and vegetables, sweets and snacks, ready-to-eat foods, dairy products, grocery or consumer goods. To have a wonderful shopping experience, please visit your nearest Megamart Macromart branch. Megamart and Macromart, full of goodness.
Welcome back. Held at Expo 2020 Dubai, UAE Cabinet Session approves 2022 to 2026 General Budget. The UAE Cabinet, chaired by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and Prime Minister of the UAE and ruler of Dubai, approved the UAE General Budget for the 2022 to 2026 with total expenditures of AED 290 billion and the UAE General Budget for the year 2022 with AED 58.931 billion expenditures. At the session held at Expo 2020 Dubai, the Cabinet also approved the new government strategic approach that serves as a framework to lay the foundations of work for the next 50 years. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed directed all government entities to adopt the new government strategic approach while setting priorities and developing projects and work plans. Over 500 doctors issued UAE's Golden Visa. Over 500 doctors have been issued Golden Visas in the UAE, which grants them and their families a 10-year residency in the country. The doctors received the visas after they were invited to apply for the country's Golden Visa status by Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, UAE Vice President and Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai. The UAE hopes this special move will strengthen the country's national healthcare sector and make it a global model in terms of efficiency and quality of medical services. Oman COVID-19 vaccinations resume in areas affected by Cyclone Shaheen. Health institutions in areas affected by the tropical storm Shaheen have resumed inoculations against COVID-19, Oman's top authority revealed. The Directorate General of Health Services in North Al Batina Governorate announced the resumption of the vaccination service against COVID-19 in the vilayats of Al Kabura and Suwaik from Wednesday, October 13, 2021 in all health institutions. The Director General said this in a statement. India allows domestic airlines to fly at full capacity. The Ministry of Civil Aviation today allowed airlines to fly on domestic routes at full capacity. The move will go into effect on 18th October and coincide with the season of festivals in India. Last week, India announced a phased resumption of tourist visas for foreigners. Those arriving on charters flights will be given tourist visas from 15th October and others arriving on non-charter flights can get tourist visas from 15th November. This decision by the Ministry of Home Affairs is also expected to pave the way for a resumption of regular scheduled flights and boost seat use of domestic flights. US to reopen land borders in November for fully vaccinated. The US will reopen its land borders to non-essential travel next month, ending a 19-month freeze due to the COVID-19 pandemic as the country moves to require all international visitors to be vaccinated against the coronavirus. Vehicle, rail and ferry travel between the US and Canada and Mexico has been largely restricted to essential travel such as trade since the earliest days of the pandemic. The new rules to be announced Wednesday will allow fully vaccinated foreign nationals to enter the US regardless of the reason for traveling, starting in early November when a similar easing of restrictions is set to kick in for air travel into the country. By mid-January, even essential travelers seeking to enter the US like truck drivers will need to be fully vaccinated. World must triple clean energy investment by 2030 to curb climate change. Investment in renewable energy needs to triple by the end of the decade if the world hopes to effectively fight climate change and keep volatile energy markets under control, the International Energy Agency said on Wednesday. The world is not investing enough to meet its future energy needs. Transition-related spending is gradually picking up but remains far short of what is required to meet rising demand for energy services in a sustainable way, the IEA said. Training plane crashes off Lebanon. Search ongoing for 2 people. A small plane crashed into the Mediterranean on Wednesday off the Lebanese coast, and rescue workers were searching for the 2 people on board, a statement by the cabinet said. The small training aircraft belongs to the Lebanese Aviation Club and the Civil Defense Team is conducting search and rescue operations, Interior Minister Bassam Mawlavi said on Twitter. Death toll from tropical storm in Philippines rises to 13. 9 people missing. The death toll from the severe tropical storm Kompasu has risen to 13 and that 9 people are missing, the Philippine government said on Wednesday. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council said that most victims died from landslides and flooding in the northern Philippine regions and Palawan, an archipelagic province located off Luzon Island. The tropical storm, which excited the Philippines on Tuesday, triggered flash floods and landslides. Nearly 2,000 people were evacuated to safety. The damage was heaviest in the northern Philippine regions, the agency said. Damage to agriculture there was estimated at USD 9.7 million. Tropical storm Kompasu, which made landfall on Monday, is the 13th tropical cyclone to lash the Philippines this year. Hundreds evacuated as red-hot lava threatens homes in Spain's La Palma. Over 700 residents were ordered to abandon their homes on Tuesday on the Spanish island of La Palma as red-hot lava advanced towards their neighborhood. As the river of molten magma descended from the Cumbre Vieja volcano in the northeast of Canary Island, authorities ordered between 700 and 800 inhabitants of La Laguna to leave home with their belongings and pets, according to the Canary Islands Volcanic Emergency Plan. With that news, we come to the end of today's news updates. We shall be back every day at 7:30 p.m. with the daily news updates in English. Good night.